Hi, I'm BaveryAbykin. I will be doing a book review for the book Bloodlines. Bloodlines by Richelle Mead. It's an excellent book because she's an excellent author. I really enjoy her books. I'm going to be doing this review based on that you already read her Vampire Academy series, which this is like a tiny character from the other book. From that book is the main character in this book, which is Sydney, the alchemist. And she's trying to protect her sister from the world of the alchemist. And by doing that, she has to go to Palm Springs, California. They didn't want her to go there to protect Jill, the younger sister of Vasilia, because people are trying to kill Jill. They didn't want her to go there because they're questioning whether she can be an alchemist because they feel she loves vampires, feels for them. And so they try to send Jill, but she doesn't want Jill to go. So she gets them to let her go. So when she goes there with Keith, the alchemist in charge of the area in California, and Eddie, and Jill, of course. While they're there, they use Clarence's speeder. He is a vampire. They use his speeder for Jill. And Clarence has a son named Lee. He seems like he's not going to be an important person in this book, but he really is at the end. And so, at the boarding school that they're keeping Jill at, that they protect her at, Sydney notices that the children, the teens there at the high school, have tattoos, metallic tattoos, and metallic tattoos are made of vampire blood, like hers as the alchemist. And she investigates to make sure that these aren't involving vampire blood, which she believes they are, and they are. She finds out that Keith, the alchemist, is draining vampires and selling their blood to tattoo guys to make money. And so she goes to his house, finds everything involved in the draining and the selling and the chemicals and everything. So she calls the other alchemists. They come out, they search his house, they find all the stuff there, so they take Keith away. So while she goes back to his house afterwards to check it out and look for some stuff there, and while she's waiting there, Lee comes because Lee knows that she's there because she thinks Lee's a friend. Or his best friend, a vampire, can be to her. And Lee, he was killed and made and brought over to the Stragatoli or Sori, or however you pronounce that. I pronounce it Stragatoli. I don't really know how you pronounce it. But, and a spirit user brought him back. So he desperately wants to be one again. So he has tried draining Mori and dehampers and humans, anything to get back. And he thinks that if he drains an alchemist, he'll become one again. So he tries drinking her blood. And then Adrian shows up, and he tries to help her. And Adrian has a spirit bond with Jill because he brought Jill back to life. So Jill can see what's happening to Adrian. So they're hoping that Jill will see what's happening and send Eddie and send help. So, and it's not just Lee there. He called two of his undead friends that he supplies people to, that he's trying to get to turn him back. Because they are attacking and they're drinking them and hurting Adrian and hurting Sydney. They killed Keith, but they're trying to turn him. But it didn't work because once you turn back by a spirit user, you can never go back to the undead. And so he's dead, and Cindy and Adrian are doing the best they can to battle these people off. Not even people, monsters. And she has this medallion in her purse that she made that a teacher had her make because the teacher could see that there was something special about Cindy. And what the teacher could see is like Cindy has special powers or something. She's kind of like a witch, I guess. We'll find out about more of that in the next book because the alchemists are chemists, but extremely good chemists. There's something special about them. So she has this fire medallion, and she uses it to start a fire on one of those giant toys. She didn't think it was going to work, but it did. And she didn't believe in that kind of stuff. So Eddie gets there, he kills them, and Sydney ended up appointed the alchemist for the area since Keith can't do it anymore because he's a bad person. And there's a lot more that goes on in the book. There's a whole bunch of action. It's extremely good. I highly recommend this book. But I definitely you definitely need to read the Vampire Academy series before you read this. I was hoping you didn't watch this before you read the Vampire Academy series. So, I hope you enjoy the book. I know this contained a lot of spoilers, so hopefully you didn't read this too much before, or watch this before you read it. I don't know. So, have a great day and read the book.